Let's get back at it here. I don't know what happened there, but hey, Udi Jim one in Nigeria, how are you? We had some really good news about the copy trading bot. I was talking at the beginning of the show that really great information here. Had a really nice announcement that dot swap is going to be where you can actually trade that or use that copy trading bot. They're going to be the liquidity provider. And so, very big news for all of you that participated in the BRC20 IDO. Hey, there's still 21 hours left for this. So, if you want to gain access to the first Runes Telegram trading and copy trading bot, then you still have the ability to go over to um, universe bitcoinuniverse.io and go over to tools and then click IDO BRC20 and then you can jump in there. And I hope you're seeing some of these big announcements that the universe is pumping out there. Okay. Um, Peeps, we were just trying to have a fun little conversation and I so appreciated Overnuts. I don't know, like he had nuts in his name. Is that like what kind of nuts? But he had that in his name and let me tell you, he was coming out here and he was bringing some sauce. Okay? He was bringing some sauce. Yeah, so I don't know what kind of sauce he was bringing, but he brought some. He's not here right now, and I wonder what happened to him. Hopefully he'll find his way back here. Um maybe we'll tell you later what happened. I figured out how to use some buttons, okay, peeps? Yeah, so here's what we're looking at this morning. There's a ton of stuff going on, and I part of it is headlines, right? There's so many headlines out here, and they're bringing some really bearish vibes. Okay, and I just want to ask, what is your strategy when you hear about these bearish vibes? So these 5 Saylor copycats are getting crushed by Bitcoin's price slump. This just out. Let's just get a taste for this. So it says here, for Michael Saylor, piling into Bitcoin worked. Oh yeah, it only worked for Michael Saylor, okay? But now if you come in, it's not going to work for you. So here's what they're saying. The chair and co-founder of Strategy got in early, buying up the assets since 2020 and sitting on about 9 billion in gains. Others that piled into Bitcoin years ago, such as Tesla, hey, we want to talk about Tesla too. Jack Dorsey's Block and Japan's Nexon are also sitting on healthy returns. But guess what? Newcomers are trying to mimic Saylor's tactic, which he says helps protect from currency debasement. It does. That's why we want the Bitcoin, because it helps to protect you from currency debasement and acts as a hedge against inflation. That's what it does. But guess what they're saying in this article? They haven't been lucky. Ooh, Bitcoin has seen wild price swings this month as investors fret. Yeah, fret. That means to worry about U.S. President Donald Trump flip flopping. Is he flip flopping or is he like the what he says? He's like, have you read The Art of the Deal? Yeah, go check out The Art of the Deal and then you'll find out more about Mr. Trump, okay? But they say he's flip-flopping policies and border US security. This man will not let you know his hand, okay? The other day I was in a French space, okay? Literally, I was in a French space with all French speakers. I mean, and they were asking me questions, and then there was an interpreter, and then it was actually Healthy Cryptos was doing the interpreting. But they were asking me a whole bunch of stuff, and I said to them, I said, "Do you guys know Kenny Rogers?" To which they said, "No." And I said, "Well, there's a song that Kenny Rogers sings, and it's the song is called The Gambler. And it says, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're looking at the table. there'll be time enough to count when the dealing's done. That's 47. He knows when to hold them. He knows when to fold them. He knows when to walk away, and he knows when to run. He doesn't count his cards at the table. There'll be time enough to count when the dealing's done. Peeps, don't ever count anything in or out. That's why you have to have a strategy. Like, what are you going to do when the unexpected happens? We were expecting, mostly crypto Twitter, that's who we is. By the way, when people say they, we, or them, always question and say, who is we? Who is they? Who is them? Okay. So when I say we, I mean crypto Twitter. They were telling us that there's going to be this massive, wonderful pump happening right about now. Right about now, we should be collecting all of our rewards for being in our bags the length of time that we have been. But guess what? DT came in, 47 came in, and he had different plans. He had different plans. And he is planning on making, he wants to make America great again. And he also wants to change things. And he's telling us in the favor of the common man, okay, in the favor of the guys that haven't had a shot. And he's actually, whether you like him or not, he's giving many an opportunity to get in there and scoop up some amazing deals. It's not fun for the people that have been here all this time, but for anybody new that's coming in, he's giving you an entry. So what's the point? We didn't know this was going to happen. So what's your strategy when the unexpected happens? Because I'll tell you right now, the headlines, they're going to come at you even more. Okay. So they're saying that, Bitcoin has this wild price swing, and the price is down about 25% from its all-time high. Strategy, okay, the company now employs a somewhat of a complex debt and equity toggling mechanism to protect against price fluctuations. In fact, I want to say this. Many people are thinking that Saylor is going to go into some type of margin call situation. That's not going to happen. Saylor is going to ride this till the rails come off. Okay. Saylor doesn't have to capitulate. His whole program is basically, he is required almost to buy Bitcoin at any price. At any price. Okay. And that's the model of the whole strategy system, the micro strategy system, is he keeps buying Bitcoin. The way it's set up, this guy's not going to get margin called. Many people are thinking, oh, he's going to be liquidated. Fake news, fake news, fake news. Okay. Also, this is going off topic, but I must say this. There's a lot of reports that I'm seeing on crypto Twitter that Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway is going to be buying Bitcoin. I would not count on that, people. Okay? I would not count on that. Now, he has got billions of dollars in cash, and he has actually called Bitcoin rat poisoning. I highly doubt he's going to be buying that. Okay. So I just want to say that. So not everything you read on crypto Twitter is accurate. Fact check everything. If he does buy Bitcoin, that will be a shocker. I'm kind of thinking that once he leaves us, he leaves the earth, and the guy that's appointed to take his place, which I believe is a Canadian from Alberta. Yeah, a Canadian from Alberta is going to take his place. Then more than likely they'll buy Bitcoin. But while he's alive, no. Definitely not. Okay. But anyhow, could change. So let's go on here. So there are companies that have piled in, and it says now they're losing money on their Bitcoin investments. They're losing money on their Bitcoin investments. Oh, give me a break. You only lose if you sell. You have a paper loss. And we all know this. You have a paper loss. But a lot of times, because they're leveraged, that's where the interesting, that's where this gets really interesting, because a lot of people are going to get flushed out because you will head into a situation where you can get margin called. You can get margin called. I had that situation once that happened to me, but that's when I used to borrow. I don't do that anymore. I had a margin account, like a stock trading margin account, and they literally can margin call you and change your life. And there's many times where that's happened. And we don't even want to talk about what happens when you get a margin call. Um, there's a flip side to this whole leveraging thing, and that's people. Whew, mental fortitude. People don't do well when they're in situations where their life might change because they have to cover um, the shortfall. Their bet didn't go right. And I remember a news report actually once where it was really, oh, yeah, I'm just going to share it. It was, remember Briax? I don't know if any of you will remember Briax. Was it Briax? Such a long time ago. It was a gold company. And why am I talking about gold? Okay, because everything connects, people. It was everything connects. Anyhow, the long and the short of it is, it was like an FTX type situation, and a lot of people were getting margin called. And I remember the news reports back then saying, like, people are calling their families tonight, and or traders are calling their families tonight and having to tell them that, things are going to change because they've been wiped out completely. Wiped out completely. And in some cases, people don't do well with loss. And then that's when you face situations where you're witnessing not so good stuff. I'm going to leave it there. Okay. Not so good stuff. When people don't feel well, they look at exit strategies that are not the best strategies. So, what is your strategy to keep you in the game? Yeah, to keep you in the game. Hey, IB Token, I wouldn't mind if you became a speaker. I actually made this today because of you and what's that guy's name? Baba Ganja. How you guys were going back and forth about the Canadian tariffs and you paying your taxes. I really enjoyed your discussion with him. Are you there that you could give me a sign that you're there? Just waiting for a second if IB Token can. Yeah, no, if he can. Okay, good. Yeah. IB Token, I'm going to be honest here. You really inspired me last week when I heard the conversation between you and, I'm so sorry, but Ganja Baba. And you were talking about Canada and what was happening over there in Canada. And especially since you just got a new prime minister there, um, you want to unmute yourself and just give us just insight into what you were saying, because I think it all relates back to crypto, to be honest with you.
Well, I just want to start off by saying thank you again for giving me, allowing me to come up and speak. And from last week, we were talking about tariffs at the time and um, how misled information is being pressed across, not just in the United States as a brainwashing tool, but in Canada we see it differently. In the United States, majority of the people in the United States don't understand their civics and their taxing, and they don't understand that those provide services as well. How else do you provide infrastructure and all these other things, all these other programs? You got your town employees. They get paid by the tax dollars. They don't get paid by federal money. If the municipality can't charge tax on customers, then or not customers, but if they can't charge tax on the community that the house sits in, then the community lacks infrastructure. They lack employees to do the jobs that need to be done around the community. Keeping the town running. These are all tax dollars that are used to pay the workers, and people don't seem to understand that. I've been going around a lot on a lot of timelines, and I've been seeing, you know, a lot of misinformation, a lot of misguided people who don't seem to understand the economic implications that just even a few tariffs put on strain on the economies. Like again, like I said, you know, uh, don't be fooled by the markets as well. I would tread with caution, just because you know, those numbers that we're seeing, all these inflation drops and stuff like that. That's still Biden's economy. That's still Biden's numbers. We still haven't transitioned. Well, I'm not American, but the transition between Biden and Trump's economies was happening, and that was reflected in this last report. But they didn't include all of the tariffs and everything that he had put on all countries yet. So by April 10th to the 15th, you're going to see all the numbers included. And now, as of yesterday, his press secretary said that as of yesterday, this is his economy now. Okay, so he can't go back and say that it's Biden's fault if the numbers start, if inflation just spikes again, because it's going to happen. Numbers don't lie. And when you look at the numbers, which a lot of people don't, you know, a lot of people just believe what they're told on the big screen. And, you know, we hate these guys. You know, you gotta be with us. But why? You know, you ever question that? Like, you ever go out of your day and be like, okay, well, he's saying this. Should I confirm it or should I just believe what he says? You know, again, a lot of misinformation is going around. And, you know, I just believe that people in America aren't seeing the actual picture because they're not given. I feel like information is being suppressed. Uh, to me, in my opinion, like the propaganda that's been flowing around hasn't really been hitting me in the belief of believing them. More of I'm very skeptical of everything. And when you think of money and you think of world economies, you think of trade, you're only basing one trade deal that is not even true. I'll go back and say, you know, the 256% on Bell. Now that's a TRQ. Now that's a traded rate quota. Okay, just to give you guys an understanding about that. So when we meet a quota on American dairy or cheese, whatever it is that we're importing from dairy, right? So if we hit the quota, which is I think 50 million or something like that, I can't remember what it is. Canada can't even hit that mark because of the population. You see the difference in population. They don't seem to understand that. Like these economists, these people who think that they know everything because they run businesses, they don't understand that these people that run businesses don't actually go and get those numbers. They don't actually do the research. They get all these people that work for them to do that, and then it's all presented in front of them in front of a report. Do they actually go out and do this research? Do they actually go and do anything like that? But back onto this milk tariff. So Canada can't meet that demand of, you know, get to that quota and then start charging that 250 something percent. So most dairy is 0%. Some is at 7%. But you guys had America had tariffs on us previously, and then they go back and reiterate with this this wood tariff, right? So I was told that we don't have a lumber tariff on America, and for some reason America seems to have a lumber tariff on us. And you guys do understand what tariffs do, right? They bring revenue to the federal government. They don't actually give revenue to the people. All that savings that you see in Doge, I have never seen a single legit report or anything like that. Even people have been calling it out now. Even Republicans and Democrats. There's no actual paper evidence, and it's hard to actually believe what Doge is doing is actually saving American people tax dollars. It's more like a ploy. It's to show you that we're saving this, but we're actually distracting you from what other things we're doing. So just be cautious. And the markets are so volatile in both stocks and crypto. Even if crypto is going up, that's just a short-term solution right now. And, you know, if you actually look at what banks are doing, that tells you a lot more economically as well. Because if it's really highly volatile right now, then people are skeptical. They're not going to be purchasing. They're going to be holding on to what they have now. They're going to look at news every day. They're going to see if, you know, I believe, if things go well, and again, like I said, the USMCA was the best agreement that anyone has ever had. It actually created more jobs for everyone. It didn't do any harm to the economies. It was actually going up. To be honest with you, it was going up. It was on the way. Everyone was out of this recession that we were in with COVID, and post recession, numbers were starting to climb. Uh, you know, inflation was cooling off, and then we run into this whole tariff issue, and now that's going to be reflected here next month. We're going to see our first quarter report for 2025, and based off of those numbers, the if the banks were correct, then we could see a big retrace, and we could see plummeting. I just want to just reiterate that just investing in future right now would be just highly cautious. I would maybe just hold on to what you have now, and just keep looking at the news, and just keep informed, because these tariffs are causing havoc not just with Canada and Mexico, but they're also implementing tariffs on the European Union, which is one of the biggest purchasers and suppliers to American economy, which again, like, he's picking fights with everyone around the world, and he's fighting on too many fronts is what I'm saying. And if he just stuck to Canada and Mexico first, now he's included other people. So now we're going to see a shift here, and the dollar might drop more. So I'm just skeptical of the whole markets and everything like that. And again, like, as taking it from an economist side, like, I'm not a full economist, but like looking at from this side, I just believe that it's just highly volatile right now. I just don't believe that investing any more money, in my opinion, like myself, I just don't see myself investing more money into a lot of these things right now. I'm just going to hold on to what I have, and markets start to turn around, good. If it doesn't, then at least I know that I didn't invest more money and lose more money. But again, like you said, you don't lose money if you don't sell it, but technically if things go to zero, you still lose money. Again, we're in a volatile era right now where projects could fold, coins could fold, and this is where we're at, and this is how I'm going to end my spiel. And again, like I said, economics is a tough thing, and when you fuck around with economics without actually taking the necessary steps, in government, there's steps in place where you fire the correct people, not go on mass firing, because you could be firing your senior level people who have the experience to keep the government running at a low capacity workforce. But if you're firing mass majority of people, then you have, say, amounts of paperwork that are piling up for people that are underqualified for those positions, who probably don't even have security clearances or uh, signing authority. Now, signing authority is a big thing, because people have to have signing authority in order to approve budgets, approve these certain things. So, I mean, what they're doing right now is just, I believe, is unconstitutional towards the people that are working. It's not fair. His mandate was to create jobs, boost the economy, and all he's been doing lately is dropping the economy, dropping the stock markets, and basically fighting with all these other countries and losing jobs in the meantime. So I think he's doing the complete opposite, and that's my opinion. And I'm gonna end it there.
Well, very interesting, because I picked out some headlines from you. I, by the way, am bullish, but and I love everything that you said, because I think you have to have all all opinions and facts too, which I love that you bring. You bring facts. You're not just coming here with blood moon type stuff. Okay, you're coming with some facts, and I think everything that you said we should consider. And I'm going to share some headlines with you. Here's something that 47 says: I'm not going to bend at all. Trump doubles down on tariff plans as stocks sink. Yeah, here's another one. And while you're talking, you're getting validated. Trump live updates. Trump threatens 200% retaliatory tariff on European alcohol as trade war escalates. Now, because I am a dramatic person, and I happen to be a Gemini, okay? Astrology. Yeah, you're not going to like this IB token because I'm taking this a different direction. And I agree with you. And I do agree with you. I must say,
Where did you go? I can't hear you. Can anybody hear me?
absolutely not. I do not. It is quite scary. But he likes to gamble. And I shared with you my little experience that I had in a space with a French space that I had, and I talked to them about Kenny Rogers. Yeah, Kenny Rogers, who sang a song called "The Gambler." And again, it's you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count when the dealing's done. I believe, honestly, this is going to sound incredibly crazy, but Trump is being theatrical. It's not what any of us want to hear, because we're at our dinner tables, and our dinner tables are looking different. I personally, I have adopted, well before this, thankfully, fasting. Yeah, I literally, and I that's a part of how I manage.
I lost you there again.
Stuff. We're not used to this erratic type behavior, and this like dramatic movements in the market. Not to this level, like 200% retaliatory tariff, really. And he did that to Canada too, on their steel and aluminum, 50%, and just a whole bunch of wild, erratic movements. But, Canada also has some tough players there too. Um, in particular, Doug Ford from Ontario. He threatened to shut off the utilities that's feeding into the United States. And so I think that they pulled back a little bit. So when you're dealing with this particular individual, 47, you got to understand this guy's unpredictable. He'll put everything on the table, and he will double down because he wants you to blink first. It's it's not a good way to run a country, because many of the citizens, they don't know that a lot of this is, I believe, in my opinion, a lot of this is like that gambling analogy that I made. So when you're sitting at your dinner table, you've got to make decisions based on facts, and the fact is that's what he said. So if IB Token is saying that he's not going to be deploying any more money into the market, that has to be considered as a strategy. That's his strategy, and it needs to be considered, because he has to make a investment decisions based on is what the facts are. Okay. Now, I tend to think that the way that I would go at this is making a plan for no matter who the leader is, even if we had a fantastic leader. Okay, and you're in your country. Think of the best leader that you ever had. For Americans, they'll say it's Reagan. Okay, for Canadians, they might even say it's Trudeau Senior. Yeah, they might. They might say it's Trudeau Senior, not Junior. But wherever you are, think of the leader that you've had. And if that leader were in power today, your plan, whatever your strategy is, would have to be ready for that type of leader. But your plan also has to be ready for a Trump style of leader, which is just erratic, chaotic. But I would say that there's some purpose that he has to all of this. I'm not saying it's good, but you have to think about how you're going to set your strategy up that no matter who is in the power seat, no matter who is in the government, no matter what laws they're making, that your plan can outlast and your plan can be battle tested no matter what. One of the things that I say, because I have a banking background, I'm not giving advice, but one of the things I will say is please, please consider having a plan that includes decreasing your indebtedness. Okay. Make sure that you are not going into further indebtedness for anything, because when situations, the news media and all of that starts sending out all of these headlines, and they're some are up, some are down. Being in debt is not going to be a good place, people. It's just not. Okay. So one of the plans is to make sure that you have a strategy that can take you out of indebtedness. You may not be able to do it in one go, but make sure it is a part of your strategy. The other thing that I would do is make sure that you have some funds that can keep you for, let's say, at least 12 months. They used to say that you should have 6 months emergency fund. No, you need to have 12 months. You literally need to have minimum 12 months. So you should consider working on a strategy that helps you to have 12 months of not income, of expenses. I don't know why they say income. No, because you need to have 12 months of expenses, because that's why you need income, is to pay the expenses. So that means you would need to do the boring stuff. You need to do the boring stuff. And the boring stuff is figure out how much is leaving your house every single month and make cuts just like the governments make. Run your house like a government, but the government that's in your favor. Run your house like it's a business where you want that business to remain, remain in business. Okay. You want it to be a successful business. That's your household. So you need to know how much is leaving your household. These are basic things, but I'm being serious. Crypto Twitter, I never see any of that on there. And now is the time to consider that. Okay. So once you have a strategy, okay, and that strategy includes debt repayment, the strategy includes having 12 months of expenses, then a market like this is amazing. Yeah, it's fun. Why is it fun? Because you literally can dollar cost average your way into wealth, because this isn't going to be forever. It's not going to be forever. But the challenge is, if you do not have some of those things, then you do have to be somewhat cautious, because IB token, in my opinion, is correct. You would have to pull back a little bit until you see how long are they going to continue this back and forth with these tariffs, because these tariffs are collected by your federal governments, and then the federal government then decides where they're going to allot these monies that come in, because it's money that goes into their hands, not yours directly. What's going to happen for all of us is when we go to the gas pump, when we pump that gas, oh boy, you're going to have a lot more fiat in your wallet. Yeah, a lot more fiat in your wallet. When you go to the grocery store, eggs, you're going to have a lot more fiat in that wallet. So, you need to have a plan. What's your strategy? I say Bitcoin is hope. Why is Bitcoin hope? Well, Michael Saylor, obviously that guy's a billionaire, so he can say whatever he wants. But he is correct in that it is a hedge against inflation. It is. It's a hedge against inflation. If you can dollar cost average Bitcoin, I would say that should be a part of your strategy, potentially. Why potentially? Because I said it at the top of the show. Mirror check. You have to look in that mirror and know who you are, because there's a lot more headlines coming here, people. There's a lot more headlines coming. And some of the headlines, like we've talked about already, are not that great. And some of them are going to be really tough. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when the headlines get more tough? You know what some people are doing? And we're going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes, by the way. I wanted to make this quick, but I want to have this every Thursday. And IB Token really inspired me to do this, because we do need to have more people in here talking about what's happening in El Salvador, what's happening in Colombia, what's happening in Denmark, what's happening in Copenhagen, like anywhere. Like, what's happening, okay? What's happening in Auckland, New Zealand? I'd love to go there, by the way. Anyhow, let's not talk about my travel plans. let's get back to this. We need to have that mirror check, because we have to figure out what we're going to do in spite of what everybody else is doing. The best plan that you can have is a strategy. So I believe that Bitcoin is hope. And what's going to be your strategy? What's going to be your strategy? So think about that. I'm going to see if anybody wants to maybe just jump in here, and just we'll finish this out. People can get this on the YouTube. They can listen to this later. Hey, IB Token, if you want to talk again, please do. IB Token, are you wanting to talk again? Okay, I've given a pause there. I've given a pause. But yeah, let's let me just do a check here. Sadie, are you still there? And then I'm gonna close this out. Okay, I know sometimes Sadie is in the ride share and she might just be listening. But peeps, here's the thing. Bitcoin is hope. Bitcoin is hope. And you're going to see tough headlines. And you've got a couple of things that you can do with the headlines. And the best thing to do is to have a strategy for your personal life. Because once you have a strategy for your personal life, these headlines, you'll be headline proof. These headlines will not affect you at all, because you can go into any single market knowing that your life is set up in a way where you have a strategy for how you're going to approach it. Number one thing is you've got 12 months of expenses already set up. Perfect. You've got your debt. You've got a debt plan, and the debt plan is to stay out of debt, and or have a consistent way of paying off that debt over a length of time that is going to be manageable. Okay. Then once you have those things sorted out, you can actually participate in the market. These markets are how people actually become wealthy. So you don't necessarily have to sit back on the sidelines, because you've got your strategy already set up so that you can act in a time like this. Because I literally believe that we are being given an opportunity to participate in something that's going to be pretty big. And despite 47's erraticness, I think that he is setting this up potentially for some of us that have never been able to participate, that we can. And how can we do that? Again, that's just having a personal strategy. So I hope that people will come back next week, and I'm going to plug the universe and thank them and say, thank you very much, universe, for creating, number one, a wallet that gives us access to the most powerful asset in the entire planet, Bitcoin. Yeah. And not only that, but allowing us to have a wallet that bridges every single protocol. I am so excited that I can have my ordinals, my BRC20, my runes, my TAP, my DMT, my UNAT, my bitmaps, my LRC20, my SRC20, domains, domain names, people look into that, stamps, ARC20, Dust20, all under my universe wallet. If you go to explore in the wallet, you can actually have a nice view of all of your assets, all in the universe wallet. I'm actually very excited that you've created the indexer. I want to thank you for that. Yeah, there's an indexer for TAP, for DMT, for UNAT, for SRC20, for stamps, for CAT20, LRC20, runes, and Dust20. Thank you for also giving me the opportunity to stack sats, because I did say that I talk about that. There's ways that you can still stack sats in these times, and you can do that through going to first of all, just go and have a look. Go to bitcoinuniverse.io. Go over to inscribe. You may not be able to do some of this today, but go take a look at the domain name. The domain names are something that will take off, people. I strongly believe that they're going to take off. You can register domain whatever name .sats, whatever name .btc. And today you can do that for nominal fees. When the market changes, when the people are given better news because they're waiting for the headlines, think about it, headlines, they are going to come back in a big way. And you might want a time machine. That's just the facts. You may want a time machine. Okay. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to go and mint that. Thanks for Dust20. For those of you that don't know about Dust20, you should probably do some research about that. Gets rid of the inscriptions fees. So that's fantastic. And there's a whole marketplace built out for Dust20. If you're involved in TAP, thanks for giving us TAP 0. Any transaction that you do on top of the TAP protocol, if you have a TAP 0, the 0 fees for life. You do have to, there's a platform fee, 0 platform fees, but you will have to pay the minting fees. Thanks for iStamps. Yeah, thanks for iStamps. If you're into the stamp ecosystem, the protocol, the iStamps are really going to pop once we get the SRC20 marketplace. And those iStamps are going to allow us to pick up 50% of marketplace fees from the stamp art and the iStamps. The SRC20. So thanks for that. Thanks for Rune 0. Yeah, Rune 0 helps us to mint, and mint for 50% less than on other marketplaces. I don't know, peeps. I'd be doing some of this stuff. And this is literally me, just personally me. The bad news doesn't bother me. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I am so happy right now. I mean, I can't tell you how happy I am, and I'm not joking. Like, I feel tinglies in my body. I'm excited, and I'm being affected. Okay, I am literally being affected. If you knew my life story, you would say, how do you wake up in the morning? How do you even go out there? I've got some pressures coming on me like you would not believe. There are things coming at my door that are so tough right now. Like I literally should be in freaking tears. But I look in that mirror and I say, girl, you better go out there and fight for yourself because you are precious. You are worth it. That is what I say to my mirror. You are loved and you are worthy to be loved because you are created by the Most High. And that's what I say to you. So fight for yourself. I am so happy right now. I am so excited because I know that I am going to change my bloodline. And Centimillionaire is on the phone and saying, come on, come over here, Trudy. This is where you belong. And I'm not playing with you right now. I literally believe that. Okay. So I don't let headlines come and push me around. I laugh at them. Yeah, that's how I do it now. That's how I do it. So listen, have yourself a great day. What a weird show. OMG. It is a little bit different, okay? But I want to have stuff like this, okay? I want to have stuff like this that's a little bit different. I'm hoping to curate this space. I'm hoping that I will get the opportunity to do that. The crowds were low, and I mean, in the back chats, in the back rooms, they do like to see good metrics. So if I can't do this here, if the crowds aren't big enough, I'm going to start this somewhere else. I really am because I think it's important for people to come in and have different conversations, but know that all of the conversations lead back to one place, your mirror. So you're being affected outside with these headlines. You're being affected by the tariffs. You're being affected by, things that are happening um, to you that are a result of us being in this gigantic place where money is needed for us to operate. Let's be honest. We can pretend we don't care about money, but that's why Bitcoin is such a big deal. Thanks, peeps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate you. Oh my God. You know what I want to say? Thank you, Matoshi. Thank you, Matoshi, for sticking around here. Yeah. Thank you, Sadie Riggs. Thanks, IB Token. Thanks, Top Dev. Colored coins. I think I might be in love with you. Yeah. I'm going to learn Espanol. And I'm going to have a conversation with you one day. So there you go. Okay. Gotta go. Bye.